G'day gardeners, today I want to talk to you about using mulch in your garden and why I think it is important. So firstly, having that mulch is a great weed suppressor for your garden. Obviously the sunlight can't get through as well, and it slows down any germination of any weed seed that's under the mulch. And also with that sunlight not being able to get through, it holds a lot more moisture in the soil because obviously the water can get through the mulch, but it's a lot tougher to get back out with no sun there to evaporate it. So absolutely fantastic for those two things. And also I want to talk a little bit about nutrients. So I like to use sugarcane mulch for my fruit trees, and the reason I use it is because firstly it's fairly cheap, and it does a great job of, like I said, insulating your soil from both weeds and water loss, but also because it breaks down really quick. So this stuff will break down in about 6 months, and it encourages any good organisms in the soil as it breaks down and works its way into the soil. And you don't get that with a lot of the other wood chip types of mulches. So for fruit trees, I think any sort of straw-based organic mulch is fantastic to use. So in most of my other gardens I use cypress pine mulch, and that's because I've got a lot of termites around my area, and this stuff is termite resistant. So that was the main reason for getting it, but also it looks good for a long time. So I've tried forest mulches in the past, but they look really bad after no time at all. They lose their colour, and also they break down a lot quicker. So although this stuff doesn't really break down very quickly, it does look good, and obviously again holds moisture and suppresses those weeds. So I love using it. It smells great as well if you're into cypress pine, but there's obviously other benefits to other mulches, but this one for me I think is fantastic. Something very important to remember when you're mulching is to leave an air gap at the base of any of your trees, because I see a lot of people get grass clippings and they mount them right up high around trees, but unfortunately that leads to collar rot in the trees because they've got no air around the base, and that will definitely lead to killing any size tree with prolonged time of having no air. So just make sure when you mulch just to pull that mulch away a little bit and let that air get into the base of the tree. So you can also use grass clippings as mulch on your garden, but it does have a few small problems. So firstly, if it stays wet for a while, it does get quite stinky, and also it goes quite slimy as well. And secondly, any products that you've been using on your turf, whether that's herbicides or pesticides, that then goes into your soil when that mulch breaks down as well. So you just have to be careful with that, with what you're using there. But being free is very popular, and as well, there is other products. Forest mulch, I think it's around $15 per cube at your local landscape yard. But obviously things like wood chip mulch is a lot more expensive, but you don't have to mulch as much. Similar. So really it comes down to preference and price for most people, I suppose, but they all at the end of the day do a similar job. So go ahead, get some mulch. Your plants will absolutely love it. Keep those weeds down and keep that moisture in the soil.